We've managed to bring in a good number of clients through this. We've brought in IT services companies, cybersecurity companies, high-tech hardware companies, construction company, and also a business consulting company. So a nice array of B2B clients.
So thanks so much for hopping on, Ben. So today we have Ben here, Ben Edwards here from ContextWest. They are a marketing agency based out of Denver, Colorado. Nice to have you here, Ben.
Thank you, Adishay. Good to be here.
Fantastic. So before we start, do you mind giving us a little introduction of what you do as an agency and your role within the business?
Yeah, so we're ContextWest. I'm the founder and primary strategist, creative director, and so forth. We're a small agency based in Denver, as you mentioned. We focus on B2B and we work with primarily tech companies.
Okay, awesome. What has your experience been with cold outreach as a channel when it comes to signing clients, building pipeline, sales?
Overall, the results have been very good.
Right. So what do you think is the highlight of this effort or any big wins that you can think of?
Right. So as we have made clear with you since the outset, we're targeting tech companies in the B2B space. What we specifically want to do for them is offer SEO, PPC, email campaigns, content creation, website builds and updates, things like that. So we've managed to bring in a good number of clients through this. We've brought in IT services companies, cybersecurity companies, high-tech hardware companies, construction company, and also a business consulting company. So a nice array of B2B clients that are really kind of focused in our area.
Nice. What would you say is the biggest learning from running the outbound sales process?
We've been thankful that you've been so collaborative with us. And I think one of the most important things is just to dial in the messaging, get our case studies right that we're sharing to attract attention, right? And to work with you to really target the right kind of companies. So that effort has over time produced better and better conversations for us. And then in the meetings themselves, obviously sometimes people don't show up, and you guys have been good about following up with those folks and trying to reschedule. Every meeting you go into is, just kind of the great unknown. Occasionally I'll have people from our team join us and they'll say, well, what are they looking to do? And what do they want from us? And I'll say, I have no idea, right? We just have to start with a conversation.
Right. What was it that you were doing to get clients? What was your primary client acquisition channel?
Well, really referrals and word of mouth, which can only take you so far. We had tried some mailers that didn't do much. We've done some email. Our best source has been just going to events and meeting people.
Right.
So this was a nice extra channel to get lots of appointments and lots of conversations going.
Right. And the one thing that we see very often, especially when, you've been like just getting clients from referrals from your network, is people are very suspicious of cold outreach because they get a bunch of emails and they're like, who would respond to this? So when you first were considering running outbound campaigns, what were some of your concerns?
Yeah, I think a hesitation was, will you understand our business and what our offer is and who we're trying to target? There was some concern about what would the back and forth look like, and would you be able to adequately represent who we are and what we do? And I think just by having conversations with you, we got more of a feeling of, okay, you get our business and you should be able to handle this.
Right. So same thing that you said, instead of pitching on the first call, just continuing the dialogue. That helped us, sounds like.
Yeah. Well, and I want to say, there's a lot of cold email out there. A lot of people complain about it. Our, kind of point of view is,
Exactly.
and if it delivers results, then great, then work with it. And obviously it does.
Absolutely. So when we were still talking, what was it that helped you overcome your hesitations? When we were talking and we were telling you about all of these things we do with outbound, what was the turning point where you were like, what, let's give this a shot?
And I forget what your original email outreach looked like, but I'm pretty picky, and I think whatever you wrote somehow resonated with me. It'd be interesting to dig that up. We had some good conversations and some back and forth. You followed up with me, not every day, but you would give me a couple of weeks sometimes between follow-ups. And eventually we just thought, okay, let's try this.
Right. How has the overall experience been in terms of communication or reporting?
Yeah, I think the communication has been good. We communicate via Slack, and whenever there's like a question about like so and so wrote me and they have this question, what should I write them? We're usually pretty quick to have back and forth there. We tend to meet via Zoom every month. You send us weekly reports on how things are going, so we feel like the communication's been excellent.
Fantastic. And if someone who's watching this, if they are considering whether or not to do outbound or whether or not to work with us, what would be your advice to them? Like who should and shouldn't do outbound? And like having done this for a while, what would you suggest?
Well, there is a very high learning curve to be able to kind of produce the email addresses and the URLs to be able to reach out to people and then warm those up and then contact the right sorts of targets. So your company is very experienced in that, and it's just not something that is easy necessarily to take on yourself. So we've just felt that you have this technical acumen that we needed and felt comfortable with.
Right. And if someone was on the fence about working with us, what would you say to them?
I would say give it a shot. Your pricing is reasonable. You can work with you guys for a few months, and you provide certain guarantees, and so people can feel comfortable about that. What I also like is your contract isn't really onerous. It's like a page and a half or something. It's very clear about what you're going to do and what you're promising, and so I like that simplicity. No, I think you've got a lot of great testimonials on your site, and I'm happy to be another one because you guys offer a great service, and I think that people would be wise to try you out.
For sure. Thanks so much, Ben. Appreciate you taking the time for the interview.